Welcome everybody to this edition of Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Keith Armstrong, here with my brothers Jaquari and Damon Armstrong. We have a special guest tonight, uh, William J. Davis, and the J stands for big personality, even though a big personality start with a B, but this man's energy is incredible, and you guys are in for a treat. Jaquari, how you doing today, brother?
I'm good, man. I'm kind of tired, but if I wasn't tired, I'd be dead.
Yeah, that mule's still kicking, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Damon, how you doing, brother?
Basking in my potential as always, man. You know what I'm
No
saying?
doubt, no doubt, no doubt. Mr. Davis, come on with us, brother. How you doing today?
Yes, I'm good. I'm living the dream.
Living the dream.
Living the
That's
dream.
what's up. That's what's up. All right,
Okay.
well, Mr. Davis, everybody, the three of us, everybody pretty much heard our story. So we want to give you the opportunity, you our special guest. So tell us about yourself, whatever you want to share. We here to listen, talk about it, brother.
All right. Well, I was born by the- All right. Let me cut it out. Okay. There's two people on the phone. We got the studio full here. But
Gotcha.
let me tell you something. I'm the shoulda, coulda, woulda of life, very much so. A young brother coming out of Detroit, like yourselves, um, affiliated in a lot of situations to a lot of things that were supposed to hold me back. And at a young age, I realized I could dream, and I continue to do so, regardless of whatever the situation is. My name is Willie James Davis. Willie James Davis. Um, and utilize the J for various reasons. The main reason being there's a lot of Willie Davises out there that do a lot of things, and I like to represent. I like to represent myself at all times. At all times, you know what I'm saying, brother?
No doubt, no
And
doubt.
as I try to expedite my bio in a short amount of time, um, I'm the oldest of four. Made it happen. Um, Went to college on my knuckles, and even then made sure I hit all the categories of stereotypically should not make it that I possibly could, and I made it happen regardless of the fact. And I'm still doing so, as I'd like to believe, as I approach years of retiring and sitting back and still working. You know what I'm
No doubt,
saying?
no doubt.
I like to think of myself as a farmer as I plant continuous seeds throughout the community, neighborhood. Um, I am a member of the Million Man March. I was one of the million that you saw. Uh, had a great story to tell about that, where my administrator at the time, I chose not to go and participate in a particular conference because I was headed to the Million Man March. And I told them I would not be here if it wasn't for marches and meetings and gatherings and situations like that, where we stand up and unite to create things from the free lunch, free breakfast program, getting kids up early, making things happen, sponsored during Christmas, sponsored during this event, sponsored during this camp, and all those things. So those are the things that made things happen. Um, just to say, in short, he said they were around the TV watching the Million Man March and they did not see me. Now, keep in mind, this was my superior. And I said, well, y'all was on the wrong channel. Because if you seen the Million Man March, you seen me. All right, there you go.
Hey,
Thanks
I
for
like
having
that.
me come
Hey,
in. Thanks
and
for
that's
having me come
and
in.
everybody, that's the tip of the iceberg, y'all. You ain't seen
That's
nothing
it.
yet.
That's it. Hey, boy.
Hell no. Great introduction. You know what I
All
mean?
right, all right.
I met you,
It
brother.
was. It was.
Look, Vaughn Chauncey is on. He said, "What's up, Coach?"
Hey, what's up, Von? That's one of the seeds I planted, and I'm glad he's a beautiful black man today. He was just a young kid coming out there talking about, what do I do now, Coach? And I said, get him, and he got him.
Get him. Hey, also, what I wanted to do is, me and Jaquari, I met you over my brother's Damon's house. You know what I mean? And we've known we've interacted throughout the years and all that. Can you give us a little bit? Can you and Damon give us a little bit of background on how y'all know each other?
Yeah, well, Damon.
Well, we both came into the family, through loved ones or whatever.
Right.
We hit it off just like like that. And what was special about it is, man, we came from the same area and we came here and we both was surprised, man, of the love here, man. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And the camaraderie and all that stuff. And I think the first time me and him kicked it, we was like, man, look, I think we might have been on Westwood or something, man. It's like full of people. And me and him on our guard. You know what I'm saying? We on our guard. And everybody else talking about, man, y'all relaxing. And me and Will looked at each other and was like, man, we ain't used to this, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
We were waiting for something to jump off. Before you know it, without even communicating, our backs was to each other and we was rotating slowly. Right now, they got a little thing at some of the parties you might have seen where they be on this little cube and they be turning, spinning around, and they be dancing, doing that. We was doing that on the park, on the Westward, just watching our back, taking turns in different corners. I mean, 6'3" and 6'6", just rotate,
Yeah, man. But hey, they embraced us, man, and almost 40 years later, man.
Oh yeah.
Jaquari know him too, man. He watched Jaquari grow up too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I was like the young
man.
guy that was bigger
man.
than me. What's up, bigger than me?
What's going on, brother? Long time, man. Long time. It's good to see you, man.
The only thing I regret is you weren't never smaller than me when I knew you. You was always taller than me. With much respect. You gave respect, I gave it back. Love you much, boy.
Definitely, man. Definitely, man.
Definitely somebody that it's just hard to realize you all brothers and doing this is like incredible to me. My heart be filling up with, dang, that's really down. You know what I'm saying? Having a little communication problem with my brother, so pray for me that we mend that up. But this is something that's really good and powerful. The fact that y'all doing this, I just was enthused and honored that you all were even thinking about me just putting my 2 cents in it.
Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that.
As soon as Damon mentioned your name, because we're brainstorming because we're trying to put on everybody we know. You know what I'm saying? And look, and I know famous people, and I'm sure you guys do too. But they down on the list for a reason, because I want to hear from people that we speak to every day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hey, look, that's the most important thing to me. Me and my brothers, the best thing that ever happened was I stopped being the big brother.
Okay.
They stopped being my little brothers. You see,
right.
I was in maybe about 25 years old, and just understanding that we all grow, because what we ended up doing was, once we turned 18, Jaquari didn't leave town, but what he did was he moved out of the house.
Okay.
Right? I left when I was 18. I told you last night it was like I ran away from home. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Damon, he left.
Right.
But the thing about it is, what we try to do is, I looked at them, I'm like, these are grown men. They not my time of teaching them as the big brother was over.
Okay.
So I started looking at them as my peers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, that's the key to it, because when you look at somebody as your peer, now you can communicate. You know what I mean? I mean, what do you guys think about that? Anybody, man?
Oh well, shit. I'm zoning, man. I'm zoning. I'm just
I
listening, man.
see.
I'm
I
Right,
trying. I'm
see.
trying to soak it all up. You know what I mean? Because it's
Hey,
not.
look,
It's not.
looking
It's
all
not.
artistic.
right. It tilted to
Yeah,
the
yeah,
side.
yeah. I mean, that's just yeah. I've been trying to get it just right, but
Yeah, no doubt.
yeah, man. I mean, it's very rare occasion, man, where you can have a stimulating conversation with somebody, man, and for some reason we see people outside of our circle to do that, man. When all you got to
Right,
do is just look right next to you.
right,
All the knowledge and expression you need in your life is right there.
right.
So, and you Keith, you mentioned how you feel like you ran away from home at 18 years old, man. But I don't believe that, brother. It's especially throughout our history, man. When a man became a man, he went out to the world and he made his own way.
Hmm.
You're right. You're right.
You know what I mean? So it wasn't running away. So
I
man, I
understand.
mean, you got your story, man. But that's
But
it was
see
it
that
was it was it was, it was inspirational, man. The struggle,
hmm
the triumphs and shit. That showed me, man, that my life was gonna be full of everything,
hmm
and I needed to prepare myself, on how to deal with that shit.
but you
Gotcha.
got some young brothers that don't do that. You had two examples that took off, and you decided that's what I do. Whether I go to the military, college, off to my own place, or whatever, it's time to go and make my way.
Hmm.
Okay.
And that's a situation that ain't all the way. You got a lot of young people that the first thing they need to do is get out the hood, get out of the hood. You sit around the hood, you do the same old thing. You get caught up in the normalcy of trying to be whatever or to be about something. And if you take yourself out of that environment and go do something for yourself, build yourself, look for yourself, make something happen, then you can come back.
Yeah.
But until then, you still there, stagnant, and allowing yourself to dwell in that normalcy that you're at home, that you're relaxed. I think every young man, young lady, let's go. It's time to go. Make things happen for yourself. Now, if you stay there and go to school and work and got some things going, you can take advantage of that, bringing yourself up because you're constantly busy. But if you idle and just hanging and going back up to the high school for the games and everything else, you setting yourself up for failure.
You realize how many toes you just stepped on, bro?
No, because look,
You realize how many
it
toes
was
you just stepped on,
no,
Will?
no,
Come
no,
on,
no,
bro.
because not really, because what he did was think about what he
that's
did.
not
He
that's not that's not
connected. He connected
that.
something to that.
Yeah,
He said,
that wasn't a criticism.
"No, that ain't what I'm talking about. That ain't what I'm talking about
But some
because
toes was
you
stepped on.
understand it. You
Toes
understand
were
it.
stepped on.
So, you know what I mean? You understand it. But the people who want to take it personally don't want to understand it.
Right.
You understand
Hmm.
what I mean? Because it could be someone who's actually doing something, but they may not like Will's tone.
Hmm.
And you paying attention to his tone when you should be paying attention to the message.
Yeah,
Right. You
you
And
know
know,
what
and
the word?
and true
You
enough,
know,
that seed is planted regardless. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? There's some parents that just had that conversation, and we all know a lot of the times our kids listen to somebody else say the same thing we said, and they'll follow. If in this session we have today, one child or a young man or young lady says, you know what? I heard that. Or one parent says, I heard that. Let me have a talk. It's time to go. It's time to make your way. You sitting idle, and I'm encouraging you to sit idle by not saying anything. Science, silence. Saying nothing provides consent.
It's
You
real.
allowing somebody to do something. For
Right.
you to let somebody break in your neighbor's house and you do nothing,
Oh, you
you're
getting deep now,
allowing
bro.
the
But you got,
consensual
You
yeah,
entry
getting deep
into that
now.
house.
you
You know
got
what
to
I'm
hold
saying?
true. You got to hold true to the code, though, Will, and all this, because we don't snitch and all this and all that. But what
Yeah,
are you
you
prepared?
right. You right.
What are you
You
prepared to do? What are you
this is
prepared
what
to do to address the issue? Are you
here it
prepared to
is.
do anything
Here
to
it
address
is.
the issue?
We're gonna educate everybody by letting them know if I'm breaking into that house with him, I bet not tell if I get caught. That would be snitching.
There you go.
If they breaking into the house of my neighbor, no, I'm being a neighbor.
Being a neighbor.
I'm looking out because they look out for me. If they rob that old woman, that young man, rape that young girl, I'm looking out for me as well because I'm making sure they don't do it to mine. Because if I look out, they're going to reciprocate. They're going to
See,
do the same thing.
you're making common sense because here's the thing with what people do. People laid on that no snitch thing because it was easier to avoid.
Okay, brothers. Okay,
The key
brothers.
word though, Will, we brought it up yesterday. Accountability.
Yes, sir. Accountability.
Accountability.
Accountability. Two people in a crime, in a situation, or whatever. No, you don't snitch on the other one. Y'all call yourself together, go down together, or go up together.
Yeah.
But if it doesn't involve you, somebody messing with you, on you, abusing you, you tell it and get them off you. You
Yeah.
protect yourself. You don't fall for the psychological net that snitching has put on everyone.
And you know what my opinion where that comes from is from entertainment.
Yes,
And I'm not gonna blame it just on the rap. I'm talking about the movies we see, the television shows, whatever we see,
long before rap.
you glorify. And look, we all got people who's been in them streets. So this not a knock on them, but they know me personally. Like I don't condone that shit. I'm not
Uh-huh.
gonna glorify what
No.
you're doing. You know what I mean? But the point is, the world glorifies it, makes it a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand if a neighbor is terrified because they know that dude breaking in the crib is a dangerous guy.
Okay.
I get that because I went through 30 years of that, you
Okay.
know, in law enforcement. I get it, but understand. Don't tell me I'm not doing my job as a police officer
Mm-hmm.
if you're not giving me any information to
Mm-hmm.
get that guy.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Now this is not blaming the victim. No, not at all, because it's about self-preservation. You gotta watch out for your family.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, I get that. But don't you know, and we all grew up under the rap thing, rap music.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like we don't understand it, right? But when it was entertainment.
Right.
Now this is what my old eyes see. It's a lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lifestyle. But what I want to do is go back to accountability,
Okay.
because what I want you guys to do for me, I'm gonna give you two examples and try to help me piece together what I'm trying to understand about it. There's personal accountability, right?
Okay.
Then there's accountability to your community. Do they go hand in hand? Are they linked or are they separate?
Okay.
Damon, what do you think?
It's all linked, man. But it starts at you know what I'm saying. What people have to realize, man. Everybody get their head bumped, man. You understand what I'm saying? Everybody get their head bumped if they being led astray or whatever, right? But what the key is to understand that when you get your head bumped, you come to the realization that you got victims too. See what I'm saying? Ain't no charge to the game. That's the worst fucking statement I ever heard in my life. Charge to the game. That victimizes everybody. See what I'm saying? But if you get your head bumped and you say, damn, because let me put it this way, man. Everybody, man, is talking that mad shit like they all pimps and players and all that shit until they come to their front door. You know what I'm saying? If it happened to this man's daughter, oh man, she got caught out there, man, charged to the game. But when it happened to your daughter,
Right.
then you're gonna be like, man, well damn, where everybody at, man? Who saw it? Somebody saw something. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And then if a cat be like, well, it ain't happened to my daughter, but that's just a game. That's when you start looking at the psychosis in that shit, man.
Okay.
That's a problem with a problem.
Gotcha.
That's a problem. That's a brother with a problem. If you're okay with somebody doing your family in, your loved one in, and you gonna charge it to the game, you got issues, man. And you ain't got your head bumped yet. You know what I'm saying? If it makes sense.
Right.
I mean, I
Right.
get
You know
it.
what I'm saying? Because there's a tendency, man, especially in our with our people, man, to say, you know what, that's just part of it. Okay, that's just part of it, but there are lessons in shit just being part of it. You know what I'm saying?
I get it. I ain't never believed that shit because it ain't part of it.
Well,
Because
everybody got their
Those,
maturation
those are,
process, though.
but those are
You know what I'm saying?
those are foundational issues, though, man. I mean,
Yeah.
when I say foundational, I mean the foundation that's established outside of the home. If it's a good home,
Right.
we we've been giving the wrong people credit in our community for freaking decades, man. I mean, the street dudes and all this and all that. When I was a kid, man, I knew legitimate street dudes, man, who didn't want to do that shit. It was a fucking job to them. You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to put any kind of honor to it because I fucking hate crime, man. I'm a law-abiding citizen, man. And any crime that happens around my fucking house, I'm man enough to go and goddamn address it. But I'm also gonna call the goddamn police because that's their job.
no, exactly. All right, now I don't.
Now,
Well, hold on, Jaquar. I don't want to stray away from the question that I asked now, as far as you know, if you just pick what you think about the different accountabilities. You see what I'm saying? Because you're
yeah,
on a particular one right now. You know what I mean?
yeah. Well, that's yeah. I was going to try to bring it full circle.
I was gonna get to it, man.
Nah, I mean,
Let me talk. Let me say something.
it's 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 definitely a good question, man. But I think a, a counter question is whose accountability is more important, mine or my communities?
Now
Mm.
that's
That's
why I
that
actually brought it up. That's
yeah that's
exactly it.
that's that's where the conundrum lies, man. Because too many different examples, man, of people putting themselves above the greater good and fucking it up for everybody.
Gotcha. I got you.
Is that
Will,
because they don't know they don't know any other route? You know what I'm saying? They don't know any
hold,
other way.
hold on for a second. Will, you look like you're chopping to the bits, man.
Hey, hey,
Go ahead.
yeah, both of them brothers over here and up there gave me gave me some thought, some food for thought, and I've just been chewing on it. I
Yeah.
don't even know where to start. I just love the fact that both alluded to the fact that we're allowing someone else to educate our children.
Okay.
That is the incredible piece. And then we're frustrated with what they absorb. If we
That's
give,
getting to the point.
yeah,
That's
if
getting to
we
the point.
give the kids the right educational tools to go out of the home and out into the community, they can fight for themselves on what they see or absorb. At the schools, when you find these disparities between our black children being more likely to be suspended, more likely to not get it, as we teach because of the funding to pass a particular test rather than to catch our children up, we're going to have them difficulties.
Gotcha.
Those difficulties that lead to and perpetuate themselves to a situation where I've just failed for the day, didn't pass the test, was told I was this, told I was bad, didn't want to be in class, I avoided this, I'm stressed. I go out in the community, I go to the store and I see Leroy, who was just like me, pull out a wad of money and get some pop and chips and everything else that at that time we idolize, being able to have our own, do our own, and he wearing them nice gym shoes that just came out last week. So it's easy, my brother, in what you mentioned, that we will see them people and want to be like them. And guess what? It's easy to get that way. It's easy to be that way, which ends up supporting the fact that school ain't shit. These people don't scare, they don't care about me.
Yeah.
They tell me that every day. They left me behind. They know I can't read.
Hey,
They know I got problems with it. I
I'm gonna
ain't
let
finished. No,
I'm gonna
okay.
I'm gonna let you finish. I'm gonna let you finish. No.
No,
Stay
I'm
on that
teasing.
point.
I'm
But
teasing.
but what? Hey, Will, what I need you to do,
Okay.
because some people,
I'm gonna act
even
right.
though no,
I'm
even though
gonna act
you
right.
give it,
Don't kick me off. Don't
no,
press
no, no,
that
no,
button.
no. What you're doing is you giving us real facts.
Right.
But you know, people, some people grew up in Missouri. You got to
Uh-huh.
show me. So
Okay. Now let
if you
me
want to share,
add to
your
my
background,
bio. Let me add to my bio.
there you
Hold on.
go.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
Born in Detroit, but yet I went to 8 different elementaries through Michigan.
5.
Okay. Detroit, suburb of Detroit, Leavenworth, Kansas, Kansas City, Missouri. Okay. So talk about show me, talk about understanding. But guess what? Even though I graduated at the lower end, but yet smarter than many, many of my peers, okay, I knew something that you mentioned already, and that was foundation. Out of those 8 different elementaries and bouncing around, a lot of them were in such a way meeting me where I was educationally, and I wasn't left behind. But yet I was turned off by school as I had these different relationships with different teachers that I could tell wasn't like the other one, didn't have a real interest in me. So I had to fend for myself or read it myself or do this myself, not empowered by them. And so, with that being said, I am the I went to a suburban school in Detroit, outside of Detroit, and I am still yet the only black male to graduate from college. And I did not do it in the traditional 4, 5 years. I did it with every bookmark you could have in there, from kicked out to banned to need some money to in trouble for this, or let me go back, or go part time, or community college, or midnight basketball. Gave me a look, man. All the shoulda, coulda, wouldas, all wrapped into one. So
So let
that
me ask.
is
Let,
that,
let
that
me.
go
Let,
back to that foundation you mentioned, that you mentioned.
yeah. So outside of your college education, can I ask you if you could make a comparison between that and the education that you gained over the years in the pursuit of your college education? How much?
Yes,
I
sir.
mean, did you learn? Yeah. Did you? I
Huh?
mean, I know I stumbled through the question or whatever. So I mean, if you need me to, I can answer a little bit better.
No,
Yes.
I think you're alluding to what else educated me, what else gave me that knowledge.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
I'd like to say within the home, without getting too particular, I dealt with suicide, abusive situations, death of a father figure, not my father, but considered my father. Okay. My father, abandonment. Okay. All right. And this is all at the elementary level, along with the moving. So imagine the categories they were placing me in as far as at risk youth. To lose a father, abandon father, a father that was an alcoholic. Okay. We became the have and the have nots in the same year, you know. And then uh, knowing the things that happened between school, dropping out and doing my own thing and thinking I was this and everything, with the streets will be easier, all the way to, okay, come on, get right and go back to school. All right. So the burden that a lot of kids have is they don't created bills. And so they can't go back because they owe 5 or 6 thousand. I utilized the popularity I had from hanging and doing all this street stuff. I utilized that popularity and in 30 days made $7,000 just having a party every weekend. Every weekend I took the money straight to the school, made a deal with the accountant there, talk about accountability, and he said, if you can pay this 6,300 back in 30 days before we start, I'll let you get all your classes and make payments on them.
Mm.
Now, this man believed that that wasn't happening.
Yeah.
I didn't know how it was going to happen, but I was working 3 jobs: the Boys and Girls Club, the Douglas Community Association, and Kick Pool, which is still connected in Kalamazoo. All right, those are 3 little part-time jobs. Putting it together at the Douglas Community Association, I started having parties every weekend and saying my name, Big Wheel, and they started coming. $2 before 10 o'clock, and after inflation hit, and when inflation was whatever we said. But the more the end of this story is I paid every week until I got $7,000, but I only needed 63. With
Mm.
that last little money, I was gonna do something with, and I still had that mentality that this is easy. Let me do some things. Boy, they started fighting all in that party, tore up stuff, and before you know it, I owed the DJ, I owed for the broken window, I owed for this and that. And God had told me, let all that go. You in school, go back to school. See,
As
because I
soon as
made it
you
another way.
deviated just a little bit.
I was ready to deviate. I was ready to go another way. It was coming too good. But before you know it, I had to pay my debts and go on back. And I went back, and the rest is history. Made it happen. And after hanging 3 or 4 years of doing nothing, hanging around, I graduated in 1 year. Didn't know I was that close. But put this
Mm.
together in that I took classes while I worked and had a full schedule all the way. If it was room, I took it, and
Yeah.
that was it. It was a shoulda, coulda, woulda, and it wasn't supposed to happen. Wasn't supposed to happen, but it happened.
Mm.
And see, I wanted to make sure because all 4 of us went a different route.
Uh huh.
You know what I mean? But I see you 3 guys went the stronger route than me because I did what I did was off my athletic ability had a full scholarship. So all I had to worry about is getting on that court and
Hmm.
taking care of my classes. You know what I'm saying? So it is good to always be able to have people communicate their way because see, I've always had, and I want y'all to speak on this for me. I've always talked to in my line of work and just being who I am, talk to people who are struggling in life, right?
Hmm.
And the first thing they say to me is, "Man, I didn't have my mom, I didn't have my dad. We were poor, we were this, we were that. I'm in the mud. I'm trying to get out of the mud and all of this, right?" And they would look at me and say to me, "You had both your parents. You know, You don't know my struggle. Now, when I was younger, I took it personal, right? But then as I got older and wiser, I started to understand. Like, look, so when I had this particular conversation with this young man, I said, listen, first of all, everyone in our community start in the mud. I don't care if your mud is in the suburbs somewhere. You starting in the mud because you're black. You may not be as dirty as the others, but this is where we starting from. We start from scratch. Why? Because of the conditioning. This is my personal opinion. Because of the conditioning that we were subject to since we're born, indirectly, through entertainment, through history books, through everything. People want to call it a conspiracy. The white man and blah, blah, blah. It's the people in charge. The people in charge is going to do best for them, right? So
Yeah.
my thing is this. If you guys could do one thing, if you can make one thing change to change the direction of where our community is, and I'm going to give you a minute, what would it be? Because me, personally, what my answer would always is, well, a blend of a lot of things, but the main component of my answer is mutual cooperation amongst ourselves. So we can go one direction. Now, understanding is not the total answer because there's so many ingredients to our problem, right? And we keep calling it a problem. No, what it is the fact that we are taking my opinion now, we're taking the easy route. It's easy to not like somebody and not work with them. That's the easy thing to do because really and truly what I think we do is
What's up?
we help ourselves.
It is
You do.
love.
Is that for me? Is that for me?
I'm saying.
hey, hey,
Look, but,
hey,
Man.
brother Key, brother Key.
let me. I'm getting ready to get
Okay,
it to you. Get ready to get it.
If
okay.
you
But
if you if,
my point is, here's my point.
if
Trying
you
to,
wasn't my brother, goddamn it.
I mean, mute that shit or something, dude.
Who me?
Yeah.
Keith, I don't want to lose my point that you stepping
All
on stuff. You
right.
stepping on stuff, and then you getting off of it.
I'm gonna let you. Okay. My point is my mutual cooperation that'll start to move us in the right direction. Will,
Look,
we're gonna come to you.
what I felt you were stepping on was the fact that everything you were speaking to was accountability, accountability in the neighborhood, being accountable for ourselves. Okay, being accountable for the direction we're going. At any point, you can change. You can make things better. You can change your flow. How many brothers out here is recovering? How many sisters out here recovering? Okay, they're not to be in that box continuously. Once they make that move and make that commitment to do something different against those little devils that be thinking in their head and one more hit, one more do this, one more this, one more stick up, one more this, whatever it is, you can stop and seek whatever help or strip you need to continue on. Accountability amongst the community, you start with yourself and then you help who you can to be accountable for the whole and what we have to do. Like the brother Corey said, he's a good neighbor because he wants to be a good neighbor. This is what he want to do, and he want to put the police to do their job and hold them accountable. So then you get into the accountability of others who take on different responsibilities. Now, one thing you said that I didn't agree on was the fact that you went on playing ball scholarship, your athletic ability. We all athletic, but somewhere along the line, we wasn't accountable for some of the things that we were
Got,
doing.
got.
Okay, so Damon on a scholarship as well. I always say I'm a shoulda, coulda, woulda. Okay. Now, one big factor when you
Okay.
talk about something that could change, one thing
Okay.
that changed, I had an attitude that I distinctly know where I led the wrong way and would have been some different. It was during the mass education to us as a whole, black people, roots, roots, however, wherever you from, the down south, this, that, this. As I watched that, it was firing me. It was educating me. I knew about some things through my god uncle and my mom telling me different things, but some things she would just shut up. Like she ain't want to see that fire. I had a fire. I had a fire. So when my coach, who had to go back and apologize, European American, I had to go back and apologize later and coached along with him. But I looked at anything he wanted me to do as he trying to control me, and you can't control me. I should have lift weights. I should have practiced the way I should have practiced. But why should I do that? I could tackle anybody. I could catch anybody. I could beat anybody. I could do what everybody could do. But when I got to college and tried to walk on, I said, damn, there's 500 me's right here. The ones that rised above was ones that was dedicated to working out, dedicated to do things. When you talk about famous, the perfect example was right beside me, walking on. Terry Crews. The rest is history. I don't need to go that direction to tell you what he did, but he was one of those that took advantage of the situation, walked on, and continued on. Got into a church and disability, including his wife, a beautiful woman. Made things happen for himself, pulled himself up and took off. Okay, but getting back to where I'm at with accountability, at any time, anybody in the community can turn around. There's some fathers, I hope, that are listening right now that ain't doing right. They could do right starting tomorrow.
Right.
There's some mamas, they could do right starting tomorrow.
You know,
There's
just
somebody
by
on dope,
showing up.
they could do right starting tomorrow. Whatever it is, that accountability starts with ourselves, and then we let it spill out to the people around us with the different responsibilities, taking ownership, claiming accountability, and moving on.
Okay. Let me say this. Going to let you go, man.
Was that for
Accountability.
me?
No, go ahead.
Was
Go
No,
ahead.
that
this is for
the phone?
everybody. Now,
No, the
No, no,
phone
hold on,
call.
hold on, hold on,
The
hold on,
phone
hold on, hold
call.
on.
Was that for me? The phone call.
no,
You
that
sure
was
was?
for
Oh,
me.
okay, all right, all right. Okay.
That was my wife talking about. All right, now y'all need to sit your ass up and speak more clearly and quit slurring your words and shit. No, I'm just playing,
So,
man.
yo. Now, are you getting ready to ask the question, or are you going back to accountability? Which one you gonna do?
No, what I'm saying, I'm doing a little challenging too. You know what I'm saying? Because see,
Stick to
I
the
spoke.
script, man.
I'm doing that.
I'm
Follow
just
me, man.
messing.
Hey, man, let me talk. Let me say something.
Okay.
My perspective.
No, I'm just
Here it
messing.
is, man. Here it is, man. All four of us, man, we done been through our own maturation process, man, and our own roads that we travel. That's what makes God unique, miracles, and all that stuff.
Right,
Y'all
right,
get that.
right.
I've said that. The one thing, man, that I understand that you get inspiration from anybody, be they white, black, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? If you deny that white person that inspired you to be you,
Mm-hmm.
then you selling yourself short.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody's tribal, man. Based on our politics, everybody's tribal. So when we are in that position, when we being passionate and being tribal, we dismiss our experience, our
Okay.
maturation process.
All
We
right.
dismiss it. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? Me, I had the athletic ability to do whatever the hell I wanted to.
Right, right.
That was not my inspiration.
Okay.
My inspiration, man, was when we moved from Detroit to Ipsy,
Mm-hmm.
and I found freedom in that. Now, follow me for a minute.
Okay.
I found freedom in moving to a place that was safer, where my parents was comfortable for me
Okay.
to go and explore myself, find myself. Right. That was in the Public Library, Ypsilanti Public Library. I
Mm-hmm.
found that, and there was a white woman who would like set out books.
Mm-hmm.
in every category that you can imagine. She was steering me towards some shit, but she never engaged me because she wasn't comfortable because I was a little black boy.
Okay.
She wasn't comfortable with it, but through her own inspiration, she was like, let me see if he's interested in this or that, right? It lasted 30% of the time because we had nothing in common.
Okay.
You feel what I'm saying? But my point is, when we look at our experiences, man, it's real easy to talk about the negative stuff and the things that we're hoping from our negativity. Mm-hmm. It's real easy to do that. You know what I'm saying? But when you talk about true inspiration, when you got a kid, but that's sitting by yourself, that's in that room with all them other wild kids who just trying to fit in, right? Mm-hmm. You wonder what's on that kid's mind. What is he thinking about? That kid is thinking about some shit that helps him sleep at night when his house is volatile and shit. You know what I'm saying? Something sparked him somewhere. You know what I'm saying? When we become tribalism and shit, when we get caught up in that shit, then we limit ourselves, and then we start thinking about, okay, how do we help our community? You know what I'm saying? Everybody, man, get misguided somewhere, man. Everybody does. You know what I'm saying? And when I was speaking to earlier, when you get your head bumped, that's when it happens. You know what I'm saying? That's when it happens. You say, damn, you know what? My best friend, they was just teasing best friend, and I didn't come to his aid, and he was just being himself. That stuff that I was comfortable with. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't defend that shit. My dog, I didn't defend him because I ain't want to get laughed at and talked about too. You know what I'm saying? But in my experience with this brother or sister, that's the reality, and that's what we need to move forward in our life. Y'all follow me so far?
Mm-hmm. I'm with you.
My point is this, man. What changed my life, real talk, was this nun. I went to a Catholic school. It was this nun. I ain't gonna prolong it. But she asked me to write a paper. And I wrote a paper based on my fears and my experiences based on white-black relationships and all that stuff, right? She gave me back my paper, man, and it was red shit written all over this motherfucker. And I was like, God damn. You know what I'm saying? And I'm looking for grammar mistakes and all that bullshit, right? So she called me to her office, and me and her sitting there, and she was like going through this shit. When all I saw was the big red ink marks on my shit, she was like, here's where you was trying to convince me that shit is normal in your life. Here is where I know that what you're trying to convince me of ain't happening in your life and all that stuff. I asked you as a young black man who's trying to get an education, tell me what that's like for you. You understand what I'm saying? That changed my life. Because she didn't ask me for the standard bearer, all that shit. She asked me, how did I feel based on my experience growing up as a young black man? You know what I'm saying? Now, I say that to say this. You get inspiration wherever you get it, man. But as long as that inspiration comes from who you are internally. She asked the question. She didn't try to guess. She asked the question. And she saw me skating the question. And she was like, well, you know, that's just, okay. You gave me what you thought I wanted to hear. How do you really feel?
So let me ask you this. To the question that I asked. Is inspiration one of the things that you feel would change the movement of our community and bring us together?
You have to be real with yourself, is what I'm saying. You can tell a motherfucker what they want to hear. You know what I'm saying? But you just going along with the program. But if you say, how come every time if a young brother, man, with all our experiences, man, if a younger brother walk in the class, every classroom he walk in from fucking kindergarten up to goddamn 12th grade, and it's a white woman in there teaching that motherfucker, you automatically know you're gonna have problems with that. You tell me that's not true. In your experience, tell me that is not true. You already know that you're going to be judged a certain way because of her biases. Not making her a bad person, but guess what? From the damn fourth grade up to the goddamn junior high, they would say, hey man, you know what? He can't stay in his seat. You know what? He's aggressive. You know what? This and that. Without even knowing me, they would pass information on to the next teacher about me, even though they were isolating me. Am I making sense?
Yeah, but bro, listen to what I'm saying to you. I get that. I'm going to let you finish this, but what I need you to do is answer the question that I asked so we can move on, because I'm trying to make a point with you guys.
Did I move way off the subject, bro?
No, you didn't move way off the subject, because what I said to you earlier, do you think inspiration is the key to helping our community? You see what I'm saying?
Well. My inspiration comes from me being inspired about being involved in my community, man.
So when you're inspired, the more you're inspired, the more that you feel that you can impact the community.
Yeah, because I gotta feel self-worth, man.
Gotcha. I was looking for that.
I have to feel self-worth. If I don't feel self-worth, then I'm just charging it to the game, right?
Inspiration is so linked to self-worth, because self-worth takes you to places that you don't want to go. I mean, that you want to go, and most people feel uncomfortable going to. You know what I mean? Jaquari, go ahead, man. What do you think?
Keith, I don't remember the question, brother. No, for me, man, the one thing that I would change. Y'all getting deep, man. See, I got to break it up. What the fuck? The one thing that I would change, man, is strictly on a personal level, man. And I've wrestled with this for years, man. But the one thing I would change about my personal experience is I would learn at an early age how to deal with shame, man. You know what I mean? Shame is the number one culprit, the number one thing that holds the majority of the black men that I know.
All right, run that
back.
shit, bro.
Shame is an evil thing, man. It's an evil thing, man. I mean, because the things that I had shame about and still do have shame about sometimes, you know, I start to realize that, you know, had I just been more attentive to those moments, man, I could have controlled the outcome. You know, my wife, when I first met her, you know, she would always, you know, say a little phrase to me that, you know, it took me a while to understand. She said, she told me, you know, you're a victim of letting life happen to you. You know, working within the confines of somebody else's circumstances. You know what I mean? As far as realizing my bigger picture, man, and the connection with accountability, you know, that same shame I mentioned a second ago, man, I realized that I've got to forgive myself for those things. You know what I mean? The times that I felt like I let other people down, and with that thinking came, you know, a lower level of fucked upness for me. You know what I mean? I still don't think I know how to truly feel good, man, without some kind of substance in my system.
Wow,
you know what I mean?
That's deep, man.
I mean, you know, hey, look, man, look, I like, you know what I like, you know, I really like doing this, man, is because I come here, man, and I got there and lay myself bare.
Yeah, that's courage, bro. Straight up.
You know what I mean? That's what, you know what, like what, and I always talk about my job, man, but you know, I tell, like, and it brings the accountability subject full circle once again, man. I tell them before, you know, you hit rock bottom, you don't even fucking know, but you've already hit rock bottom, bro. You know, don't ever paint yourself into a corner, man, where you don't have the option of going either left or right, man. Because if you study your fuck ups, if you study other people's fuck ups, man, and actually learn from them, you'll find yourself, a step ahead of the game. I truly believe that. So dealing with my shame, man, and forgiving myself for not living up to my overblown expectations. That's it.
All right, well, I'm going to ask the next question after this statement. I'm going to go into it, right?
Well, hey, let me
All right,
let me address. Hey, man, with humility comes a lot of anger too, man. So, you know what I'm saying? When you find a weakness in yourself, you know what I'm saying. There tends to push back on that shit, but your honesty, man, is blowing me away right now, bro. Straight up.
Man, a rational man, once he sees that weakness, man, he'll do something to address it.
That's some man shit
But
right there.
you know,
but see, that's the thing about it, man. What you said, Damon, was we are fed shame on a daily basis
Well, you said that.
because it's a control technique. You understand what I'm saying to you? And me, growing up, I wanted to be a part of the group. But God blessed me in the way of the group not accepting me, mostly because I was the oldest when we moved from Detroit. So nobody, you and Jaquari had a chance to grow up around your friends. I had to make friends, even though we was going back and forth in the summer. I had to make friends, right? So I was left out there, not alone, but unfamiliar. So I had no choice. And you know how our parents was. Our parents fed us a daily. The world fed us a daily diet of being shamed to be a black man, being called a violent individual by nature, not smart enough to succeed in this country. That's a daily diet, man. And it's still to do. But see, the thing about it is, we're also fed, maybe by happenstance or God's blessing, or our parents was aware, because they were individuals who didn't take shit from nobody. And their expectation of us was just that. Not take any shit from anybody. So I was put out there, and not purposely, but I was the test subject. And Damon was close behind. This is why I always pulled him along. Everything that I learned, I went back to him. I was doing this thing because I did not like how I was feeling. Because I knew I was good enough or better to be in this world than most people that I knew. But I was always told that I wasn't by the outside. Now imagine being, and you all, 4 of us know, being a big, black, imposing man. That's a stereotype. An athlete, that's a stereotype. With those two combined, looked at as being unintelligent. So I became an asshole, forcing my intelligence on people. And then one day, God did this for me. He cleared all the bullshit out of the way. My bullshit. I swear to God when I say this. One day, I was probably 17. And something flashed into my head. Do you love yourself or not? Do you love yourself or not? And I said, why? And it might have been a dream. I said, why? Because you're the only person that matters when it comes to the love of you. Quit chasing them. And that's when I stopped. And y'all know, my brothers will tell you right now, that's when my life changed because I started treating people in the manner of the way they treated me, right? And the fact that I was going to do something other than what they told me that I was going to do. Because miserable, hurt people, right, try to push that bullshit on you because that's all they can do. They don't know how to work through their problems. So guess what they got to do? They got to spray it on everybody else so they don't feel alone. So this goes into my next question.
We'll
You're on mute, Will. You're on mute.
Okay. I just want to make sure I don't lose the fact that what Corey said is so damn powerful. And it goes to why, and I know I'm jumping back to historical, I'm just back.
Gotcha.
The power of the Black Panthers and the other organizations like them that took away the shame
Yeah. Yeah.
and gave us who we were a better insight for those who not wired like you may have been or whoever may have been to defend ourselves from this stuff that get thrown towards us
Right.
on a daily basis as a child and ever. I'm sure it was kids all over the community sticking that chest out. And it's so ironic. Damn, it's ironic that Corey mentioned that he has to have or deals with a substance that he'll take to ease the pain or relax himself. Okay? And that's one of the things that they poured into the community to neutralize and divide the Panthers and similar other organizations.
Yeah.
You divide as much as you can. That's why minority affairs and these cultural departments at these universities, they exist. Think about it, to keep everybody satisfied. So then nobody feels oppressed collectively together because any body of people that feels oppressed collectively will get together and rise. You see what I'm saying? At a low period of my life where I was trying to figure out what I was going to do and everything else, I was feeling like that, and I came up with my own little mantras, if you will, or poems, if you will, to just help me. And one was uh, oppress me and keep me calm, and I shall have hope. Oppress me and keep me separate, I shall have none. For to be kept common, I will rise. For to be kept separate, I shall struggle forever to be common. And they don't want you to be common. They don't want you to be together because we will help each other unite and climb. But if you can divide, I'm gonna give you, Corey, an administrative job over here. I'm gonna make you well-to-do, and I'm gonna put you over here. I'm gonna take you out the neighborhood. I got to get you out of here so they can get this leadership out of here, and we'll leave everybody else, and we'll divide, and we'll argue, and we'll fuss, and we'll fight, and we'll figure out nothing for years rather than come together, which goes back to your community and accountability and realizing when they're dividing you. Right now, there's some powerful organizations now that's being diffused. They're trying to figure out how to diffuse them, how to create or give somebody something. All right. So you
See,
remember these minority affairs and these places at the university, sometimes you can't bite the hand that feeds you. How can they really stand up for what you need? You got a professor that did this. You got a professor that did that. At Western Michigan University, we had a situation where there was some administrative personnel trying to stick with us during a takeover we did of the administrative building, and they wanted them to leave. I remember pushing out the news because I said the news can't come in there until we get it together,
I
and
remember that.
pushed them out. They got it together. We got it together, and then you can come in, news. We're going to dictate what you see because we already know you're going to chop it up and make it whatever you want to. But a lot of the time, we don't have somebody legitimately representing us, and easy to be corrupted, easy to be misled. As long as you have value of this worldly items, you will always be subject or have a number that you ready to go at. I ain't gonna take 100,000, but damn it, if you offer me a 500,000, boy, I'm letting them go. That's the mentality of a lot of people. What is your price to where you
Yeah.
leave your brother astray? You leave him
But see, the
out
thing
there.
is, you just mentioned, if you give me an administrative job, man, it all about boils down to me,
Right.
and
Yeah.
my sense of accountability and reaching back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is
Well,
you got to have it in yourself, man, to understand that you wasn't born in this position. If you got a good space, you wasn't born in it. More than likely, it took
Hmm.
work to get there.
Hmm.
And by God, if you think that you only struggle for you to be in your position, you just a goddamn fool. I
Yes.
Yeah.
mean,
Yes.
but hold on. Before we say anything more, we
All
we at
right.
the point we at the point of the program.
All right.
The point of the program. We're gonna come back to it, Will. But we're at the point of the program where we acknowledge our guest who's on and watching us. Malika, we love you, cuz.
yeah,
We
she
love
be up there, boy.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Hey,
brother. Appreciate their support for real.
yeah, yes indeedy. William Scarborough. See you, brother. We see you out here. And we saw little
Yo, bro.
Vaughn Thompson. You know what I mean? Uh Malika, we gotta get you on the show. We gotta get you on the show, baby. You know what I mean? Big Bill, I know I got you. You said you want to come on. We're gonna get the North Carolina view of this whole situation what we talking about.
Okay.
All right, now Will,
Yes.
go ahead and finish up, brother. I just
No, no, that's at a good place. I just want to
yeah,
Hey,
make sure that was put up in there and acknowledge
ho-
that the power of that statement. And I mean, it's a million little kids right now that need that empowerment. That's what it takes is all of us that are capable of planting these seeds on a daily basis. Hey kid, what you doing in school? Hey kid, what's going on? Tell me about today. Tell me about yesterday. Oh, don't let them bring you down. What your grades look like? I mean, conversation. You don't know what they idolize you for, look up to you. There's several people in the neighborhood that I've always idolized, and they never knew until I came back and said, I used to always like that. How you did that? You used to play ball with us all the time, and when you was
yeah,
playing ball with us as an older black male, we wasn't cussing all the time and doing all that foul, this and that. We was trying to play and do like you was doing.
yeah.
And I appreciate that. You always had a good word for us. Those empowering words made me feel good about where I live. That there was other black men that I'd like to be like. I really like. He work all the time. He come play ball with us to exercise. You never know the seed you drop and where to go.
Hey, Will, you talking about that brother man was out there playing ball in the Stacey Adams and shit?
Hey, hey, yes, sir.
yeah, yeah. And
Yo,
them and them thick and thin socks.
Yeah,
yo,
Yeah.
yeah.
with
Hey,
the
hey,
cut off jeans and with the
and
white tee
still
on,
could jump. And
yeah,
still could jump.
and jump out
Yep.
the gym.
Still could jump.
All right,
Yes,
all
sir.
right.
Hey yo,
Let
hey yo, that's
yeah, go
me.
ahead. So
Goddamn right.
this is what we're gonna do because we're all fathers on here. Um, I'll put a question to the group. How did the way you was raised impact the way you raise your children? Damon, you can go first.
Well, you know what? Safety, stability, commitment, consistency. You know what I'm saying? That's all your family really need, man, because that allows them to to experience their own personal self. You know what I'm saying? And if you got a foundation, man, where everybody can be themselves and go they, you know what I'm saying? I got 3 kids, man. Well, Cameron, he got another year, but I never forced anything on them. You know what I'm saying? I was just telling them, I just told them to be themselves. You know what I'm saying? And see the world, how they see it and experience it, how they experience it and learn from their experiences, man. You know what I'm saying? If you learn it from your experience, man, you're on the road to being a better you. You know what I'm saying? Because the world needs you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You here for a reason. You know what I'm saying? And whatever that part of yourself that you contribute is going to make a difference to somebody that you might not even meet in your life, man.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? But you have to be consistent consistent with that. Because that's genuine. And people, man, for whatever it's worth, man, people look for that genuineness in everybody, man. They look for it, man. Jacory, you said some shit that was genuine. You know what I'm saying? Everybody ain't got the courage to do that, man.
Right.
So your childhood, in your childhood, do you think the way that you grew up impacted the way you raised your children?
You was breaking up. I didn't hear you, bro. But
I said
my biggest thing.
Hold
This
on,
is the last point I'm gonna make.
Can you hear me? I want you to answer this real quick before you make your last point, bro. I said, in your childhood, did it impact the way you raised your children?
Yes.
You was breaking up, bro. I ain't hear nothing you say, man.
All right, can you hear me now?
Move to somebody else, man. Cause I told you I was having a problem with my internet, man. You know what I'm saying? I ain't hear nothing you say, dog. I'm keeping it funky.
Jaquari.
Now I can come up with some shit, but it might not be what responding to what you said.
Now you done did that twice today, so we gonna move on for a minute.
Man,
No, I'm just fucking with you. No, can you hear me now, man?
I can hear you now.
All right, as far as your childhood is concerned, because I know you got an interesting point. The way you was raised, how did it impact the way you raise your children?
Like I just said, man, the one thing, man, that I struggled with, man, when it came to our parents, they was brutally honest, man. You understand what I'm saying? They told you what it was. They told you the situation to the point where you have to figure it out for yourself. You know what I'm saying? And remain confident and whole in that, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? So that's from my childhood moving forward, man. With all my trials and tribulations and all that stuff, at the end of the day, man, I had to be who I was, and I had to deal with my kids from that standpoint. You know what I'm saying? I had to deal with them from that standpoint because if you being fake with your family, bro, really, you know what I'm saying?
That's real.
You ain't going nowhere. That ain't going nowhere, man. And you fucking up lives is what you're doing.
My daddy was an astronaut. You living in the house and shit.
Hey, Keith, motherfucker say, my daddy ain't never lied to me. Yeah, but he told you a goddamn lie.
Yeah, exactly.
No, man. No, you do the best you can not to lie. You be honest, man. Hey, Dad, man, can I get this? No, dog. Why? We ain't got it, man.
Yeah.
We ain't got it. I ain't making no excuses about it. I can't do that. Now we can figure out how we can work together and make it happen for you.
Figure it out.
You know what I'm saying? But that's it. And I ain't never deviated from that, man.
No doubt.
And I learned that because I ain't never got that goddamn bike I asked for, man, since I was like 6 years old.
Hey, look.
Hey, Fu.
And when I come up after Will and Jaquari, I got one for y'all. But Jaquari, you up next, man.
I think the most important thing to me, man, is just passing on the pursuit of information for entertainment, man. You know what I mean? That's one thing that was always conveyed That was the one biggest point that I always got out of interactions with mom and pop. You know, it don't cost nothing to be knowledgeable about shit. Don't cost nothing. You know what I mean? Especially when you're not trying to beat nobody over the head with it, but people seek you out to have an informative conversation. Man, it's a hell of a feeling.
Oh yeah.
And no matter how much I might have stumbled through the process of parenthood, man, I'm so immensely proud of the way my daughter seeks knowledge, man. Seriously,
Gotcha.
and I like to believe I had something to do with that.
Okay. Will, what's up, bro?
Oh, okay, okay. I'm gonna keep it short. I'm not gonna get winded. I'm not gonna get winded. All right. So, uh,
That's
unfortunately, unfortunately, all right. Listen, I'm gonna start over. I'm not gonna get winded. I'm not gonna get winded. All right. Um, I raised my daughter and my son. My daughter, biological daughter, and my son, who I was in his life since he was two. Uh, I was raising him. He is from my wife's previous marriage, my ex-wife's previous marriage. Okay, but I end up taking him when we divorced, and I had them by myself from 4 and 9. My daughter was 4, and my son was 9. And I was a single parent most of that time. Well, all of the time coming up. So I'd like to say I try to keep them around different particular sports and activities of people I'd like them to be like, or people like-minded like myself, in the sense that they were for kids, about the development of kids, and wanted to nurture their growth. It is so ironic that the big thing that my kids will say that I told them what to do was to figure it out. All right. So a lot of times it was, you need to figure that out. There wasn't a lot of besides the basic um, um, etiquette type of preparation with how to respond to people and how to treat people. It was about what you were trying to do and how are you trying to make it. To figure it out, I believe, as you asked the question, how my childhood was and how it affected that. That came from my mother. My father was, I had the experience of, remember, the abandoned father, my biological father, the father that my mother was married to, and he was murdered in Detroit, still unsolved. I remember him and being on his past leg, pulling up all the time. I remember him. That's my brother's father, and I remember him as father, and that loss was there to have that absence. Then my father, when my mother remarried, was my sister's father, and he was an alcoholic, and that was the haves and then the have-nots through that alcoholism and that little substance abuse, not little substance abuse, substance abuse. So that was one of those troubling things. So I had that experience, but in those things, I found what good to take out of them for my fatherhood experience and putting it together. And led by that was the strength of my mother, who used to tell me to figure it out all the time. And it might have been figure it out because she didn't have the solution, much like you said, Damon, with if you didn't have the money, figure it out. I worked for everybody on my block. I always hustled. I was robbed on my paper route. I probably still got Detroit news slapped across my face still from the guy slapping me with the book. But I had my mama, which I went back. I was in junior high. I got my mama, and she got my money back. And I stood tall from that. And the black woman is a powerful woman. I don't care what it is. And it's something about their children that they're going to figure out whatever. Now, that grown man knew not to mess with her. I didn't see exactly what she said. I didn't hear exactly what she said. I didn't see exactly what she had because she blocked most of it as she was up in that man's face.
For
But
real,
that
that's
man
real.
got that money back, and I stood tall knowing the power of my mama. Now, this is the same woman, when I knocked something in the toilet and stopped it up, I stayed up all night taking the toilet apart at 9 years old, not knowing nothing about a toilet, because she said, damn it, you better figure it out. I want my toilet working in the morning. I was up to 5 in the morning, stripping nuts on the screws and pulling it up and pouring water all on me because I didn't know to empty out the back of the thing first. It was comical. It was comical. But you know what? I stood proud in the morning when mama flushed that toilet. And I got that little medicine bottle that I threw up in there, just clowning around. And she had told me to get up out of there. Boom, I did it.
Hey,
And that's
Will.
some of the greatest accomplishments, when you figure out stuff and you figure out you could do something you thought was impossible or incredible, and that becomes addictive. So imagine if we made that addictive throughout uh, kids' lives
Yeah.
by letting them
Damn,
know,
Will.
watch it and do it and do it and make it happen and be empowered by yourself.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That's it.
Wow.
Yeah,
Bro, you just said
but
some deep shit, man.
I stopped on the wind, didn't I? I stopped. I did good, huh?
Look, but you just ran down. They said a black woman can't raise a son.
Huh? That's false.
Man,
It's
that
much
was
evidence
hey,
of that. It's much evidence of that.
that's a hell of a message right there, bro.
And they said
Listen,
a black man, the kids belong with their mama. And look, my ex-wife, their mother wasn't on drugs or nothing like that. It was just I wasn't waiting all my life to have a child and be away from my child. So at 31, when I had my daughter, I wasn't leaving. So we're gonna either stay together and look crazy, or I'm gonna raise my child. That's it. And it was just a matter of me begging, let the brother stay. Let the brother stay. They might well be raised together. And she had total access.
Wow.
look, man, listen. Let me tell you something.
I was too long.
No, sir.
Okay, all right, all right.
Will,
Thank you,
look,
thank
let
you.
me say this to you.
Yes, sir.
My job is to move it along, but for real,
All right,
I've become addicted to what y'all saying.
all
You
right. I like
understand?
that.
And you
Okay,
know, and look, it hurts to say, hey, hold on for 1 second. You feel
okay.
what I'm saying? Because I want to, I want to chime in onto it, but I understand that we don't want to, only once in a while. But just let me say this. I'm gonna share this story with you guys, and Damon and Jaquari, Uh, hey Julio, we getting ready to end, brother.
Julio on that. What's
Yeah,
up,
yeah, yeah.
Julio?
What's
We getting
going on,
ready to
cuz?
end.
That's a young one I admire. He younger than me, but that's my big bro,
Look,
little bro.
we had a great episode with him too, brother. But
Yeah.
one day, look, even though you have uh,
Oh shit.
both parents in the house and they work, you still get into poverty situations.
Right.
So we went a winter just on electric heaters,
Mm-hmm.
right? Toward the end of the winter, the money was dad doing overtime. But it was maybe 3 days from Christmas. We were brought into the living room. Jaquari was a little youngin', right? But we was brought into the living room, and this will give you an idea. The three living in the same household, but the three different opinions about things, and none of them was wrong, right? You could tell my mother and father was into intense conversations, and my mom always turned. They both when it was time for the kids to have to do. They always approached me because I took it seriously, being responsible for my brothers, right? So they posed this question to me, and what they did was they looking straight at me. My mama looking straight at me, but she directing it to all of us, right? She said, Keith, we know Christmas is around the corner. Now, when she led with that, I'm thinking they getting ready to ask us what kind of present we want, right? You know Christmas is around the corner, and we've been messing with these electric heaters all fall, winter, right? Uh, y'all got a choice. Y'all remember this shit. Y'all got a choice. Get the gas on or Christmas presents, right? Now, I'm in the sixth grade. So the first thing popped in my mind was Christmas presents. Shit, what are you talking about, right? But I'm the oldest and I'm responsible. So it took a long pause and I was like, oh man. And I said it just like this. Oh man, I guess the gas, right? Now Damon, we came to Damon, and Damon was thinking the same damn thing I was thinking. But he was honest, right? And my mother looked at him. So what about you, Fluke? My mama, Fluke looked at him. He looked up and down like, Christmas. You know what I'm saying? Now, my heart jumped like, yeah. Because I know I'm afraid to say it. Because they looking at me as the responsible, they looked at, they held all three of us responsible, right? But they always looked at me when the hard shit had to happen. So I'm thinking we still got an outside chance because Fluke said Christmas present, right? My mom looked and she said, Fluky, Keith, it's too goddamn bad. We turn on the gas. Turn on the gas. My heart sank, and I'm sitting here, and I said to myself, Keith, you a goddamn fool, right? Because I'm still thinking if I would have said gas, they would have turned, if I would have said Christmas present, we would have got Christmas present, right? Because my dad was like, yo, them kids, he said, I worked hard. Them kids deserve Christmas, Marge. That's exactly what he said. So I'm sitting there, and Fluke, like, the fuck, man? And Jaquari, like, look, he just happy. He don't give a fuck about it because, he was like, what, 3, 4, maybe?
Yeah.
So
I was probably wondering why I was included in on that question.
yeah, and
I wouldn't respond. Shit, you know what I wanted. That.
The reason why I even brought it up because we kind of touched on it as far as the upbringing is concerned. It was no lies, man. It was no lies and was straight up reality. Look, this is what's going on. And I swear to you guys, from that point on, from that kid in the 6th grade, for the rest of my life, it got easier making the right choice. Even though I wanted to do the exact opposite, it got easier the right choice because we didn't even know it. We was privileged on grown folk shit. You know what I'm saying? I just wanted to share that with y'all, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
for me, man, it was like, the and it's sort of like a double-edged sword situation, man, because it hurt me too, man. But situations like that, man, build pride in me, man. It really did, and I believe that my pride, even though it comes before the fall. Okay, yeah, I give you that. But my pride, man, has been a catalyst for at least 95% of my success. Because growing up, as rough as it was, I was fairly happy and I was fairly stable, man. And even though the people who were responsible for raising me, might have had faults to some people, they built a hell of a foundation, man. Because anytime you could, take a child, man, and send him to school and know that he ain't got he ain't got but 3 pairs of pants, and he just wore the motherfuckers yesterday. But he go and he don't he go every day. You know what I mean?
You know how to
Don't
take
miss
care of your
the
clothes too.
don't miss. I watch the motherfuckers in the bathtub, but don't
Damn
miss
right.
no school. Period. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? I understood that purpose at a young age, man. Like, look, okay, you got what you're going through. You know, everybody do, and yours might be a little worse than others, man. But you know, it's like life is got a goal to it. You know, what are you willing to sacrifice to position yourself for success?
you're right.
You know,
Damon, Damon, I'm gonna let you close this little segment out, and then we're gonna get y'all last words, and we're gonna end this episode.
Okay,
Go
what I want to say, look, in life, man, you got to seize the opportunity, man. And then when it's not as being spent, when it's not as being spent, you got to be able to focus on that shit and say, okay, did y'all get that? Did you hear it?
Right.
Because it makes a difference in your life, man. That shit you just said, Will, that was some deep shit, bro. That was some deep shit. I don't want to, based on what you said, I don't want to hear nobody talking about a woman can't raise a son. You understand what I'm saying? I don't want to hear it. Because if you are looking to be successful, if you are looking to be, you know what I'm saying, that person, man, that you want to be in your life, what you just described, man, between what you just described to us, man, with your mom, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to hear I don't want to hear no more, man, that no woman, no black woman, let me put that, no black woman giving her trials and tribulations because you laid it all out, bruh. Can't raise no successful black man. You understand what I'm saying? And you laid it out, bruh. You know what I'm saying? As much as me and you talked over all these almost plus 40 years, man, you never told me that story, man. You understand what I'm saying? And now that that part of me that love and know you, I see now. I see the reason why that hustle was there. I see now why that determination is there. You understand what I'm saying? You got those things from the men that was in your life, but you got that foundation from your mom. You understand what I'm saying? And that's some real shit, bro. And I just wanted to say that to you, and I'm good.
All right, Will, we're gonna let you close us off, bro. Then we're gonna end this segment.
Okay. All right. Well, I'd first like to say, if I was y'all little brother, I'm 6'3", I would still be the shortest of the brothers. I say that because not only y'all statue stands tall, but y'all stand tall and represent y'all mother and father incredibly. You know that
thank you, sir.
statistically, one of y'all supposed to be in jail. Statistically, one of y'all supposed to be dead. Statistically, all of that.
Yeah,
Okay, I was at y'all father funeral 20 years ago, 20 some years ago. Okay, he, he, he was loved. Okay, the church was packed. It was people there, brothers there. I saw Big Court standing up there, part of the ceremony. Okay, it's incredible. Like you say, what you don't know after 40 years, and we done covered a whole lot of stuff. I never knew financially how short you all were in that area. Because I'm telling you, when I met Damon, coming from the college he was coming from, ball player, he always walked tall and proud. He wasn't never scandalous. You know what I'm saying? Ready to hustle, do this, do this, do this. When I was introduced to you, Keith, and Court, that's all I seen. Dane was always talking about his brother Keith. My brother Keith in Pitt. He in Pitt. You know, yeah, Corey down there and he down there. I had all the stories, but never ever did I hear about what y'all didn't have. It was always y'all claiming each other. That's incredible. And that's what I take out of this. This conversation perspective You got a hell of a tool. If people that chime in or should find this somehow, it need to be spreaded. When you talk about celebrities on the show, what for? Celebrities are people that play a role and pretend to be a character, someone they're not. Real individuals, like they all are. So if you interviewing them from the perspective of who they are, that's great. And what their experience is giving them, that's great. But this is real people, real perspectives, based off what is known to be true in its existence where we at now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Collective experience is dynamic, and that's it. Before I get offended, I don't
Well,
want to.
hey, Will,
It's
not
heavy,
to
man.
cut you off. Let me say this right quick,
That's
man.
it. That's it. I'm done.
Okay, he made it. He made it to Pop funeral, but he couldn't make it to mine funeral. But that biggest flower arrangement
I
that
was
was
out of town.
there,
I was out of town,
he
out of the
that was his shit.
out of the country.
Yeah, that biggest flower arrangement that we had at our mama's. Will sent that.
Okay.
Wow.
Much love, man. But look, let me just say this.
Definitely, bro. Definitely.
Everybody, hey, Julio, we're gonna have you back on soon. Like I said, Malika, we waiting on you, baby. Uh Scarborough, I'm gonna be calling you soon, man. Will, I told Julio this, you reoccurring, man. As many times you want to come on here, you're more than welcome, brother. That's
Okay.
real.
Okay.
Look, I'm gonna tell you, I knew we was going to enjoy this joint. I knew it. Because
I enjoyed y'all. I enjoyed y'all.
we like to have the guest that brings out the best in us, and we've been four y'all about 4 for 4 for this. And you what you did today, man, you encouraged me to continue to seek out people to come on.
Hmm.
But we talked about this last night.
Right.
It was hands down. Will. You know what I'm saying? It was hands down because when I met you, you was everything that Damon said you were.
Hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
And that's it. That's it. But to the audience, thanks for joining us for this. Thanks to our special guest, William J. Davis.
Willie.
And okay, I'm sorry. He likes Willie, folks, not
But
William.
that's what she thought of. Is Willie. My granddaddy was Willie.
Okay, then that's what it is.
Willie
Willie
James.
J. Davis.
Yeah.
Willie James. Hey,
Yeah.
listen, everybody out there watching this live, y'all make sure y'all go to our YouTube channel and you know, like and subscribe, people. We got plenty of material on there. Hey, we're growing and we got something for everybody. All right. Hey, say good night, fellas.
Good night.
All right, love y'all.
All right.